Hey, friends. This is Martine Williams, and I am obsessed with all things mompreneur life and helping you to remix your priorities, your habits, your mindsets, and yes, even your relationships so that you can build a successful business without losing yourself in the process. I'm also obsessed with the color turquoise and lyrics of the 80s and 90s, but that's beside the point. Girlfriend, you don't have to hustle 24/7, 365 and continue to sacrifice your health, your relationships, and your sanity to be a successful mompreneur. As a small town girl living in a lonely world to a six-figure mompreneur, I am here to teach you how. There is a better way, and this podcast is your one-stop shop for all of the how-tos, the encouragement, the life hacks, the success tips, and of course, a little side of tough love. This is the Mompreneur Life Remixed podcast. So let's do this. Well, hey friends, and welcome back to the Mompreneur Life Remixed podcast. This is episode number 7, and I am just coming off a live event. Actually, it was a virtual live event, and the theme of our event was nothing holding us back. And in the comments and the things that I've been receiving from friends and peers and colleagues that attended this event, there was a common theme that came up in the chat, and it was all around confidence. Like, it's the confidence that holds most of us back. And so I thought it would be helpful today for me to just kind of dive into 10 ways to boost your confidence, or 10 ways I have found to boost my confidence. And spoiler alert, I haven't always been the confident Martine that you hear on this podcast. I honestly struggled with self-esteem and confidence for many, many, many years. And being on this mompreneur journey has helped me in so many ways, and confidence is definitely one of them. I heard a colleague of mine say the other day that, being a mompreneur, being an entrepreneur is the biggest personal development journey you will ever go on. And I'm definitely living proof of that. I say all the time that the person I have become in the process of growing a successful business, of being able to keep the harmony between my business and my life and my marriage and my kids and my family and all of those things, like, it has been just a wild ride. And the person I've become in the process has really been one of my biggest accomplishments, because I remember the Martine that couldn't talk in front of 10 people. I remember the Martine that depended on the approval of others all the time and was constantly seeking out those words of affirmation. And I am a words of affirmation love language girl. So the reviews that you've been leaving here on the podcast show speak so much to me. So thank you to all of you who have left a review up until this point. But I remember the Martine that was constantly looking for that to build my own confidence. And it wasn't until I was able to find that within myself and find it as a woman of faith that things started to change. The actions that I was taking, the risks that I've taken in my business changed. And so I thought I just wanted to share with you 10 ways maybe to help you boost your confidence today. So let's get started. So the first one is leaders or readers. And you may be listening to this podcast and be thinking, Martine, I'm not a leader. And whether you see yourself as a leader or not, you are one. You're leading someone. You're either leading a child, maybe you're leading one of your friends, maybe you do have a team, maybe you have colleagues or peers that are looking up to you. And here's what I want you to know, that someone is always looking at where you are and seeing something in you that they want. That's just the nature, I think, of our culture right now and of us as women, is we always are looking outward to what someone else has, but you are leading someone. So find books that encourage you, because leaders are readers, and find books that inspire you, that teach you. Reading really requires us to sit and get focused, to slow down and really focus on something positive, because you're probably reading a book. Hopefully you're going to choose a book that is going to be positive, that's going to be inspiring, that's going to be teaching you something new. And so by learning something new or just reading something positive for 20 to 30 minutes will boost your confidence. And I have not always been a reader. I have not always been a reader, and I definitely haven't always seen myself as a leader, but I have learned that reading really helps build my confidence. It reminds me that I am taking a positive step in the right direction. It reminds me that I've made a positive choice in my daily routine to build up my mindset, to build up my skill set. And so just by learning and realizing that leaders are readers has helped me to boost my confidence. The second one is know your motive. Your motive is your motor. So what are your motives for being a mompreneur? What are your motives for the goals that you have set, both personally and professionally? And the quality of our answers and results will come from the quality of the questions that we're asking ourselves. So what is your motive? Peel the onion back, friends, and just keep asking yourself questions, because knowing your motive, or your why, we like to say, creates focus, it creates energy, and it creates confidence. It also helps you to create perspective and perseverance when your goals seem too big or too far away. That came up constantly these last couple of days with regards to goals and dreams that were either achieved or not achieved. So knowing your motive helps you to confidently make decisions on how you will spend your time, your energy, your money, and your resources. You can confidently say no to that opportunity because you know that that's not going to get you closer to your why. It's not going to get you closer to your goals. So you can have more confidence when you gain that clarity on what it is you really want. And not just what you want, but why you want it. Again, peel the onion back. Then it's just a game changer. It helps to boost that confidence in your decision making, especially. So you could ask yourself why. Why are you a mompreneur? What is it about being a mompreneur that excites you, that helps you to come to your desk every day, whether that's on your kitchen table, which is where I grew my business for the first 7 years, or you have a designated spot at a desk, or maybe you're in your car on your lunch break because it's a side gig for you. But why are you doing it? At what point will you truly feel successful? Ask yourself that question, because I see so many mompreneurs wearing themselves out trying to reach something that they haven't even clearly defined yet. And so they just keep hustling and keep hustling and keep hustling to the point of exhaustion, and then they just quit. So at what point will you truly feel successful? Another question you could ask is, why am I committed to this? Why am I committed to this? Because you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. I've said this before, I think, on here, but if not, in case you didn't know, you don't own a business, you own a roller coaster, and there are ups and downs. So why are you committed to this, or to it, whatever that it is for you? And then another question you could ask is, how will I feel when I achieve this? So again, peel the onion back, and how are you going to feel? How's your family going to feel when you achieve this, or when you become successful in XYZ company or XYZ business that you have, or on your health journey? How are you going to feel when you achieve that? So really gaining clarity on some of those questions, it just boosts your confidence. The third one is celebrate your wins. This is something I would love to see more mompreneurs do, and just women in general. We have an awful habit of downplaying our wins, or just flying by them and on to our next goals. Or worse, we never even slow down long enough to acknowledge them at all. We just focus on the ways we come up short. We just focus on the things we didn't achieve. We have to learn to celebrate the big and the small wins along the journey. And again, this could be on your professional journey. This could be on your personal journey. But we just take for granted the things that we just achieved. And I mean, things like actually getting the wet clothes transferred over to the dryer without having to rewash them again. Hello, that's a win. For some of you, especially if you have little kids, that's a win. Surviving the season that we've just had to go through and are still kind of working our way back through, that's a win. But we tend to think of all the things that we didn't do right. I know I'm not the only one here that has struggled with that. And sometimes I can fall back into those unhealthy habits of thought. But another one could be, you didn't yell at your kids today. Hello, that's really hard. Mom of teens, I know y'all get me on this one. One more eye roll, and it's gonna be going down here in the Williams household. But really learning to celebrate your wins and acknowledging them, getting your family involved in, the goals that you have and what you want to achieve so they can help you to celebrate your wins. Having your peer group or your best friend or your business bestie, whatever, really communicating clearly what you're trying to achieve and holding yourself accountable to, okay, when I achieve that, I'm going to go get a mani-pedi, or I'm going to, if you're on a health journey, I'm going to buy a new pair of workout clothes, or I'm going to take a nap, or I'm going to watch guiltless Netflix and, eat whatever I want. I mean, celebrate your wins. What does it mean to you to celebrate your wins? You are winning. You are winning in multiple areas of your life right now. You're just not seeing it because you're looking at the little black dot, or the little black speck on the paper instead of seeing all of the white area around it. That's a whole nother podcast, but just want to make sure to celebrate your wins. Number 4 is invest in learning via coaching, courses, masterminds, live events like I just was at. I remember the first time that I invested in a coach, and it was scary. It was, is this really going to work for me? Am I going to get my, return on my money invested or on my time invested? But I will tell you that investing in events and courses and mastermind and coaches, I would not be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have the confidence that I have today, because when you invest in things like that, just like this event this last weekend, the speakers were amazing, absolutely amazing. And there were so many things that I took away to continue to boost my confidence. Seeing someone else succeed by being in a live event and seeing people being recognized, that shows me it's possible. Seeing these amazing keynote speakers sharing their journey and their story inspires me that if they can do it, I can do it. They're just like me, and they've gone through struggles and they've had to overcome adversity in their life and their business, but they're still here and they're still able to help other people. So by investing in, whether it's an event or you need a one-on-one coach or you want to be in group coaching, that is going to help boost your confidence for all of those reasons. Plus, you have someone on your side cheering you on when you're nervous, cheering you on when you're like, I'm going to fall flat on my face, cheering you on and really just encouraging you and giving you the belief and the confidence that in the beginning you're struggling to find. So by learning, you're increasing your knowledge. So knowledge equals confidence. Knowledge equals confidence. And when you gain confidence, you take action. And then when you take that action and you get the desired result, that increases your belief. But it starts with the knowledge. It starts with learning that new skill set, or learning that new mindset, or learning, you fill in the blank there. The knowledge equals confidence, and the confidence equals the action, and the action equals the belief. True story for me. Number 5, practice makes better. Notice I didn't say perfect, because I don't believe in perfection. I believe in making progress, and practice makes better. That's something my coach said to me over and over and over again. When you go back to number 4 and having a coach, she said, practice makes better, practice makes better. And so I would have to put myself out there and practice new things. Everyone is a beginner at first, but for some reason, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get it right 100% of the time, and especially the first time. And because of that, our lack of confidence keeps us from taking action. And so when we don't take action, we don't get the belief, right? And so by practicing and being willing to take the practice, that's going to increase your competence. And when you feel more competent about something, you're more confident. Listen, I didn't know anything about podcasting, starting my own podcasting. I didn't know anything about starting my own business 15 years ago. I definitely didn't know what in the world I was doing when I brought a human into this world. into this life, right? But practice makes better. And the more I practice the skill sets in my business, the better I got at them. And the more my confidence would grow because I saw results, right? The more I practiced putting on that diaper, with the wiggle worm on the changing table, the better I got at that. And I know that seems so simple and maybe not relevant, but it is. Practicing in anything is going to make you better, and that increases your confidence. Okay. Number 6, fail fast. You've heard me say this on this podcast before. I think it was when I was talking about Marie Forleo's book on episode 4, I think. Failure is an event, not a characteristic of who you are. And if you're failing forward. And the faster we learn what isn't working, the faster we learn what is, which brings confidence. So fail fast, take action, knowing that clarity is going to come from the action. And, failure is just a failed attempt in learning. And when you can, again, adopt that mindset that you're not failing, you're just figuring out ways things are working or not working, it's going to continue to increase your confidence to do things that you've never done before because you're not afraid of failure. You're not afraid of it not working. So the way I have boosted my confidence throughout my entire journey is being willing to do things and fall flat on my face. Now, I have definitely postponed some things like this podcast longer than I should have because I was afraid of some of those things. But one of the things all of the coaches and mentors that I've had have said, you're one of the most coachable people because you're willing to just go and do the thing. And you trust that what we're telling you is going to work. And it's the truth. I mean, if you told me if I stood on my head for an hour, it was going to help me to, be more successful as a mompreneur, I'd stand on my head for an hour. I have true trust in the people that I have invested in and coaches. And that's why I invest in them, is for them to tell me the hard things and to push me. So failure is an event, not a characteristic of who you are. So for me, failing fast has helped me to boost my confidence. All right, number 7, play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. If you're trying to be someone else, if you're trying to be strong in an area that is just not your wheelhouse, then you're going to continue to be knocked down and your confidence is going to have a hard time staying firm. So play to your strengths. What are your strengths? Do you know what they are? Have you done the Strength Finders test? If you haven't done that, that's a great thing to do. There's lots of different tests out there. I know Enneagram is really huge right now too. So what are your strengths that you bring to the table? And don't tell me you don't have any, because I know you do. You're not an accident. God has you on this earth for a purpose. You were made for a purpose, and you have a purpose to play in your strengths and to use those strengths and those gifts and those talents to reach others. So what are your strengths? And are you not only celebrating them, but are you using them to help you reach your goals? It's so funny how we what's the word I'm looking for? We sometimes just like downplay, right, our strengths. I know for me, my strength, my superpower is encouraging others. That is my strength. And it took me forever, y'all, to realize how to play to that strength. I just dismiss it as, well, everybody is an encourager. They're not. And when you learn and really embrace the strengths and the gifts that God has given you, and you learn to use them to help you not only reach your own goals, but help other people to reach theirs, it's a game changer. So what are your strengths? And maybe you don't know, and maybe you need to go take the test and figure out, what are your strengths? Maybe you already know, but you're not celebrating them, and you're definitely not using them to help you reach your goals. When you play to your strengths, there's a confidence level that makes you completely unstoppable. Okay. Number 8 is a gratitude journal, or, every day writing out what you're grateful for. Remembering your past blessings. This has been really key for me. And those of you that know me really well know I'm not a huge journaler, but I do start my day with gratitude. I do write down the things that I am grateful for, because it's really hard to be grateful and complaining at the same time. And it's a really great thing for me to go back when I am in an upside down moment on the roller coaster of this mompreneur journey. I'm able to go back and look at my past blessings and the things that I have overcome, the things that I have seen other people overcome. It just boosts our confidence in amazing ways, because we're like, if we did that, then what's holding us back from doing this? You fill in the blank there. So maybe that's something simple that you could do to help boost your confidence is start a gratitude journal, or starting your day every day with gratitude by just writing out something simple that you're grateful for. And then being able to go back on the days you're just, you feel like you're being kind of complaining and whiny, go back and look again, because it's really hard to be grateful and complaining at the same time. Okay, number 9, don't compare and despair. So I kind of going back to the playing to your strengths. I remember when I used to really compare myself, and it was a complete confidence killer. I mean, it really was, because I was constantly looking at, well, if I was more like her and I, spoke to people like she did, or if I had her energy, then I would be where I need to be as a mompreneur, or I would have, the family life that she has, or I was constantly looking outward versus inward. And another example would be, I just told you, my superpower is encouraging others, right? My superpower is relationships. I'm really good at building relationships with people, even virtually, even through the podcast. Some of you I've never met in person. I may never meet you in person, but I feel like we're besties already. And I was comparing myself to someone who's a mompreneur, very, very much a strategic thinker, very much a numbers person, which you need to know those things as a mompreneur. You need to know what your numbers are. You need to know, what's driving performance, all of those things. But she grew her business with that strength, right? Like that was her superpower. And she struggles with relationships. And so we were both able to build very successful businesses, and still are, but from 2 totally different areas of strength. But there for a while, I was kind of stunted in my growth because I was comparing myself to her. And I'm like, well, if I was just more like that, I would be able to be further along in my business. And that's just a lie. It's just a lie. Yes, we want to, work on our weaknesses some, but playing to your strengths and not comparing yourself. Comparison is a thief of joy. You've all heard that before, and it truly is. So it determines the joy that you have on the journey if you're constantly comparing yourself. So I want to give you permission today to surround yourself with people who will help you to celebrate who you are, the strengths you have to bring to the table, the successes you are already having, the things you have already overcome, instead of comparing yourself to them. And that goes for social media too. So if you need to unfollow someone who makes you feel like you need to be someone else, do it. If you need to unfollow someone who, you're constantly comparing their highlight reel to your behind the scenes, unfollow. Doesn't mean you don't like that person. Doesn't mean that person is doing anything wrong. It just means for your own mental well-being and for your own confidence, you need to unfollow them for a season. So do it. Number 10, take care of you. Taking care of myself from a personal standpoint, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, has helped boost my confidence. It's something that is a priority for me. And I know for many of you listening, and you don't make yourself a priority. I know that because you're the reason that I've started this whole Choose You movement, if you will, is because we need more time building on your health, building on your mental health. I need you to take better care of yourself, because when you're making positive decisions, and let's just say one area, let's just say exercise. You've decided that you're going to exercise, 3 to 5 days a week. Well, if you're exercising, then that's going to have a trickle down effect, because you're not going to want to eat that donut, not every day, but you're going to want to make healthier choices in your diet. You're going to want to get rest, because you got to get up in the morning to work out, or vice versa. You're going to learn to use food as fuel for your body. You're going to be hydrating. So just by taking care of that one area, you're going to be able to feel so much more confident in all of the other areas, emotionally, spiritually, physically. your confidence is going to boost because you know you're making a positive effort to take care of yourself, to get the rest that you need. We need to stop this whole mindset and belief of rest is earned. Rest isn't earned. Rest is a necessity. Some of you just need to get a better night's sleep and you'll have more confidence because you'll be able to perform better in your business. You'll be able to show up better as a mom and take care of your kids. We cannot pour from an empty cup, friends. And some of you are running on E. You're running on fumes. And so number 10 is not last because it's least. I just want you to leave this podcast remembering to make yourself a priority, to take care of you. And self-care is not selfish. It's a necessity of success as a mompreneur. It's a necessity for your sanity and necessity for the joy that you get to have on the journey. So be sure that you're taking care of you. One of my mentors here in the podcast world, Shalene Johnson, says only exercise on the days you want to have a good attitude, you want to be confident, you want to feel good about yourself, you want to have a healthy marriage. Only exercise on those days. So there you go. All right. Well, I hope this was helpful. These were just 10 ways that I know have helped me to be more confident as a mompreneur. And I hope that you will take 1, 2, or 3 of these ideas and really take them to heart and invest them into your life, and then come back and maybe take another one. Don't try to boil the ocean and do all 10 of those, but what are the ones that are the areas you feel like if you just did this, it would really help to boost your confidence. And I want to end our time today with a quote from Marianne Williamson. I'm sure you've all heard this before, but if you haven't, I really felt like it was a good way to end the show today. So she said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. I'm going to say that again. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us. It's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Friends, it's time to be who God designed you to be that confident woman. She's in there. She's just been pushed down by life circumstances, maybe some people, some toxic relationships. So take these 10 ways. And my prayer is that you will feel more confident as a mompreneur in the days, the weeks, and the years to come. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you again for following the show, reviewing the show. And I will see you or talk to you soon. Well, that's a wrap, friends, for this week's episode of the Mompreneur Life Remixed podcast. Thank you so much for listening and for following the show. It means so much to me. And listen, friend, sharing is caring. So if you loved this episode and thought of some fellow mompreneurs who could benefit, send them the link. Share this episode or take a screenshot and head on over to Instagram and share and tag me at Martine31Williams. We are connected on Instagram, right? It's where you will get all the fun behind the scenes of my life and business as a mompreneur. Until next time, know that I am believing in you always.